Greetings, folks. Chief Meteorologist Chad Merrill here with your latest forecast. And temperatures warmed up into the low 70s in those highest elevations to the north, but upper 70s to lower 80s locally. We've got lots of sunshine across the region, just a few fair weather cumulus clouds. Now, that's because high pressure is dominating our weather. You see the low pressure near Bismarck and the showers basically along and south of that area? Well, that's going to be our weather maker later in the week, but it's going to crawl here. So that means it's not going to happen until late Friday. 97 in Oklahoma City, but only 70 degrees in Fargo. So going through the overnight period, another beautiful evening. Send your sunset photos in. We will put them on the air. It is pretty pleasant tonight. We are down to 57 degrees. Tomorrow's high 87, so not yet 90, but warmer than today. The good news is we don't have the humidity to deal with again tomorrow, so it's not going to feel too oppressive. We have a low pressure center exiting the northeast. We have a strong ridge across the central plains keeping it warm, and there's the trough in the northwest. This whole weather maker is going to move east, the entire kit and caboodle, as I like to say. So that ridge expands into our area tomorrow. That's why it warms up a few degrees. And then this low pressure comes around that ridge. And here's how it looks on the upper levels. After a warm day on Thursday and Friday, that trough does move in. We will have a couple of showers, not a drought buster by any stretch of the imagination. And then once we get into Sunday and Monday, look how the upper level configuration sets up. A trough across the east and northeast. A ridge of high pressure starts to develop aloft towards the Canadian Maritimes. And just remember that pattern because there's a reason for it. We do see that by Saturday, then a little bit of a trough moves back into the east. So pattern recognition shows when you do have a trough in the east and you have a ridge of high pressure over Canada, what that does is helps to funnel tropical systems towards northern New England or Atlantic Canada. With that in mind, this is the latest track for Ernesto as of 2 o'clock. You can see it's expected to become a Category 2, perhaps even a Category 3 hurricane by this weekend, well off the coast. Now, it's not going to directly impact us, but there will be a tendency for the storm to actually ride the western side of that forecast cone and make landfall somewhere between northern Maine and Atlantic Canada. Now, the reason I'm saying that is because it could absorb some of the energy from the trough and weaken it a bit, which means less rain for us over the weekend. And also, when you get these northern tracking storms, like Fiona, for example, back in September, between the 14th and the 27th of September, that tracked north towards Atlantic Canada. When you have all this heat energy pushing north, it unleashes cooler air, kind of like, for every action, there's an equal and opposite reaction. So, for example, in Beckley during September 2022, we had a warm day on the 21st. And then by the 29th, when the storm was well north into Atlantic Canada, we dropped to 36 degrees. So we can have a real brief cool snap following the storm as it moves north. Another reason that our temperatures aren't going to skyrocket too much, and we could have another cool snap coming in a little bit later in August, is that the West Pacific is booming with a typhoon and a tropical depression. And as we go through time, these particular storms are supposed to make an acceleration north towards Alaska. That buckles the jet stream and eventually brings us cooler temperatures. So, two reasons why we will have those big jumps in temperatures, but probably very little in the way of rainfall. Your aches and pains forecast shows we do dip over the weekend as the trough comes in, so a few more aches and pains thanks to the weather, and then we rise again with the barometric pressure by the middle of next week. So we do turn humid on Friday and Saturday. No drought buster, but there will be scattered to isolated rain showers Friday and Saturday after we have a high of 87 on Thursday. Perhaps a 10-minute shower on Sunday, cooler and less humid on Monday, and I think the implications of Ernesto beaming north towards Greenland will send a cool shot down. So we'll have temperatures in the upper 40s Tuesday night and a cool morning. After a cool morning, we rebound nicely into the mid to upper 70s on Wednesday. So once again, no drought buster rain. We should end up with probably about a quarter of an inch of rain between Friday and Saturday. A couple of areas in the higher elevations may see a half an inch. And then after that, we have a little bit of a cool spell, but some big temperature changes, so almost like an Indian summer pattern, where it's a little bit cool in the morning, but it warms up nicely in the afternoon.